Gaelic Grounds for the second of our Limerick Senior Hurling Championship quarter-finals today between Patrickswell and South Liberties. We'll give you a quick check in the teams before we introduce Matt O'Callaghan and Kieran Carey as our special guests for this game. Patrickswell line out with Brian Murray in goals, James Carrick, Shawnee O'Brien and John Flynn in the full back line, Diarmid Burns, Nigel Foley and Mark Carmody in the half back line with Jack Kelleher and Cian Lynch in midfield. Josh Considine, Kevin O'Brien and Calvin Carroll are named in the half forward line with Aaron Gillan, Lark Considine and Peter Harty in the full forward line for Patrickswell. They are captained by Diarmid Burns. South Liberties line up as follows with Paul Butler in goals, Owen Quilty, Patrick Carroll and Michael Moynihan in the full back line, Michael O'Brien, Shane O'Neill and David Gary in the half back line with Conor McSweeney and Brian Nash in midfield. Brian Ryan, David O'Neill and Barry Nash make up the South Liberties half forward line, while Brian Gary comes in place of Michael Keane. He'll be wearing the number 16 jersey for South Liberties at top of the right with Shane Gary. He's joined in the full forward line by Shane Gary and Owen Godfrey. First of all, Kieran, Patrickswell will be big favourites for this game, undoubtedly. What do South Liberties have to do to try and stay with him, really, is what the expected opinion would be.
Well, from a South Liberties point of view, I suppose the first 5 minutes of this game is vital to stay in the game as long as they can. Patrickswell obviously revamped the whole team positionally compared to the last game that they played, and they had to do that. But I just hope we don't see the same result that we saw the game previous between Kilmallock and Murroe Boher today.
We're underway here at the Gaelic Grounds in possession. The first attack, and it's Barry Nash with time and space to try and deliver the first score. He strikes, it kind of flicks off the post, and it's the first wide of the game. Matt, from Patrickswell's point of view, we were here a couple of weeks ago for their defeat against the Piercing. It was a chastening defeat. What have they done? As Kieran said, there's been a few changes positionally. What are you expecting to see from them today?
Well, I'm certainly hoping and seeing that you'll see a much improved performance, because that was, it was patchy at times, but for the most part it was very, very poor against the Piercing. And we just wondered during the first game there, second half of the first game, how would the first game and the result and the one-sidedness of it, how it would affect the mindset of these teams coming out, because Patrickswell would have come from the same group as Kilmallock and South Liberties from the same group as Murroe Boher. But I think Kieran is right, and we have a similar situation. We have favourites. Patrickswell are playing into the breeze in the first half, and whilst Murroe Boher didn't make use of the breeze at all and were well behind at half time, I think South Liberties, to be in with any chance at all, they have to make use of it. And it looks at this early stage, and we're less than a minute and a half into it, that they're just going to fall behind already.
It's an Aaron Gillan free, straight in front of the post. It's 46-7 metres for Aaron. Missed a few of the last, but you'd expect him to tap this one over the bar, and that's exactly what Aaron's done to give Patrickswell a 1 point lead. 1 minute and 40 seconds played. Now, as Matt just mentioned, Murroe Boher had the wind in the first half. It's a fairly strong breeze blowing into the city end. It's Paul Butler to take this puck out. Murroe Boher didn't avail of that breeze. And it seems South Liberties is a miss hit from Butler straight to Aaron Gillan. Gillan inside to Diarmid Burns. Burns with space. Decides to flick it inside to Lark Considine. Lark Considine, who won that free early on, but he's under pressure from Patrick Carroll. But it's Patrickswell that come away with the ball again, and it's Aaron Gillan. He flicks it outside to Burns. Burns, low ball. It's Kevin O'Brien, flicks it away, manages to keep it in play, and he's got away from Michael O'Brien. It's Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien's shot looks to have tailed to the left and wide. It's a wide ball. Maybe better off Kieran playing that across.
Yeah, it was an ideal ball. He was right here in the corner, left hand side. The correct ball there, but probably out towards the D in front of the box, or cross it away from the 21-yard box.
Paul Butler gets us back underway here, and it's not one. It's won by Patrickswell. Conor McSweeney trying to put some pressure on. It's kind of a ruck developing here in front of us in the Mackey stand. It's Cian Lynch that comes away with the ball, and Lynch has been fouled. The foul was committed by Conor McSweeney, and a chance for Aaron Gillan to double his total in the early stages of this game, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, it's looking slightly ominous already for South Liberties, because in many ways the start and the first couple of minutes of this game, and it's only 3 minutes old, is replicating the start of the Kilmallock-Murroe Boher game, where Kilmallock took a grip on it from the start and were on the front foot from the start. You'd have to say in the 3 minutes so far, it's Patrickswell who have been to the fore.
It's Gillan's free. And it's over the bar again. It's a much trickier one for Aaron Gillan. His second attempt of the game, no matter for him, because it's straight over the bar. And as Matt said, 3.5 minutes gone. Patrickswell into a 2-point lead. It's been a fast start from them with 2 Gillan freezes. Paul Butler gets things underway, and he's gone along with this one, looking for Barry Nash. Barry Nash up against Shawnee O'Brien. That's O'Brien who gets a flick to it and then gets another flick to it, but it's South Liberties with a shot. Their first of the game. It's a high one. It's gone straight over the bar, and straight over the bar from David O'Neill and Kieran. That's a fine score.
Yeah, they needed that big time. That was a 50-50 ball between Barry Nash and Shawnee O'Brien. Broke out to Shane O'Neill, and he's a very good hurler. He's around South Liberties a long time, experienced campaigner. So this might calm him down a small bit now.
Brian Murray launches one downfield, looking for Kevin O'Brien, but again, not one clean possession. But it's Patrickswell to come away with Calvin Carroll. Carroll with a low ball, and there's a chance here. Turns back onto his left side. Can't quite see who that is, but it's over the bar either way. In fact, it's Jack Keller who's put that one over the bar. Jack operating and left half forward there. It puts Patrickswell into a 3-point lead. Matt, fine score from Jack Keller.
Yeah, a fine score from Jack Kelleher in reply to Davy O'Neill's effort there for South Liberties, I suppose. Certainly there seems to be far greater urgency and far greater purpose and far greater shape about Patrickswell on this occasion than what we saw the last day.
Yeah, already, as Kieran and Matt have both mentioned, Patrickswell completely different shape than they've shown from a lot of the season. Aaron Gillan playing out the field. It's an interesting one as Michael O'Brien for South Liberties gets ready to take the sideline cut. It's a low one from O'Brien. 50-50 ball, but it's Calvin Carroll who gets a hurry to it. But there's a chance broke here for Liberty. There's a chance of a goal. There's going to be a free in here. John O'Halloran, the referee, plays advantage, but there's been a trip. There'll be a free on the 21-metre line that you'd imagine that Brian Ryan will be taking. And Kieran, that's going to be a second point. You'd imagine he's not going to miss from here.
Yeah, very good play. In fairness, he showed a bit of courage and character. He was heading straight for goal, and I suppose the correct thing to do from the defender outside the box, a little trip, and correct decision. And Brian Ryan, I think it was, he's a fair old hurler, so he if South Liberties are going to have any chance today, he needs to have a massive impact in the game.
And it's Ryan that takes it, and he makes no mistake. 3 points to 2 after nearly 6 minutes of the second of the double header of the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship quarter-finals here at the Gaelic Grounds. In the first game, Kilmallock had a resounding 4-27 to 13-point victory over Murroe Boher. South Liberties had a slow enough start here. Patrickswell taking control, but they've settled a little bit as Brian Murray sends one straight down the middle. Cian Lynch looking for it, but he can't win it. It's Brian Ryan in possession now. Barry Nash on his outside. His referee's playing at advantage again. The play will be brought back. It's going to be another chance for Brian Ryan, and as Kieran said, Matt, if Liberties are to have any chance in this game, the likes of Brian Ryan and Barry Nash will be key to their plans.
Absolutely key to their plans, and I see that Shawnee O'Brien, he was named to come in at full back. He's picking up Barry Nash, and certainly this is what we were saying during the first game. We had the Tobins, Pat Tobin, who seemed to be in good form, and we had Shawnee Tobin, who was after possession in the first half. It's very, very important that Liberties get these two lads into the game, because they are their key forwards.
And Brian Ryan just outside the Patrickswell 65 with this free. Fairly decent strike, and straight over the bar. We're all square here after 7 minutes. Patrickswell 3 points, South Liberties 3 points. That's 2 frees for Brian Ryan in the space of a minute and a half as Brian Murray prepares to restart this game with a puck out. Brian's gone along with it down the far side here in the Gaelic Grounds, looking for Aaron Gillan, under pressure from David Gary, but Gillan had possession. He's lost the Cian Lynch is in there as well from Patrickswell point of view. Little bit of a ruck developing again, but it's Lynch that comes out with it. No, in fact it's South Liberties that come away with the ball, and they've earned a free. And after a slow start, Kieran, South Liberties have really upped their game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the 2 free takers from both sides, actually, they appear to be on song, because nothing has been missed up until this point. And they are showing a bit of courage now, and hopefully they'll settle down and they can make a match of this.
Long range free here taken for South Liberties. It's Shane O'Neill that's gone across to take it. It's a long one from Shane. Looking for Brian Ryan, flicks it inside, but as John Flynn mops up possession for Patrickswell, he flicks it along towards the near side. Mackey stand to Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien with a good ball across. Looking for Calvin Carroll. Carroll can't win it. It's Brian Ryan showing good strength from Ryan there. He's looking around for option, but he's brilliantly dispossessed by Cian Lynch. Cian Lynch pulls great ball into the forwards. It's flicked on by Lark Considine, but he can't take control. It's Patrick Carroll who has it, but now Lark Considine has won it back for Patrick. Lark Considine with a shot. Perhaps should have laid it off, because that's gone to the left and wide, and Matt, the game is settled. It looks fairly even at this stage. South Liberties have certainly settled.
Yeah, they have settled, and you'd have to say settled much better than Murroe Boher, and they're keeping in touch, which is crucially important. But we're after seeing a cameo there of what Cian Lynch can do, the way he won the ball back there, and it ended up with Patrickswell creating a chance which Lark Considine, unfortunately for Patrickswell, didn't take.
It's Lark Considine flicks it in for Kevin O'Brien, who's clean through and going, can't get control of it, still getting a flick to it. And it just across the square. It was a very difficult angle in the end for Kevin O'Brien. Huge let off of South Liberties there, Kieran.
Yeah, very unlucky ball. Great pass in, but the ball was rolling away from extremely hard for that to come up with the one hand. And even actually at the last minute pull with the one hand, it was on the byline and very nearly squeezed in. But very unlucky, Patrickswell there. Long
ball downfield by Paul Butler. Barry Nash gets a flick to it. It's into Brian Ryan, combining well there. They knew what they were at on that occasion. It's Ryan. In fact, it's not Ryan, it's Owen Godfrey with the shot. And Brian Murray comes out to take that weakest shot and plays it out to Shawnee O'Brien. Shawnee O'Brien now ups the goal line. It's a long one from Shawnee up inside. I'm not sure who's that. He's going straight for goals, O'Brien. His options either side of him. He goes to kick it, and it's a fine save. Ball comes out to Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien can't get control of it, and South Liberties have snuffed out the danger for the moment anyway. Still developing it, but it's Cian Lynch that's won it. There's a ball option on here. Cian Lynch goes for an outrageous effort with a point, and that's one of the finest scores you'll ever see in hurling. Absolutely outstanding effort from Cian Lynch.
Absolutely exquisite score from Cian Lynch, and we did make the point while ago that Cian Lynch has settled into the game, and it looks as if he's going to be one of the main Patrickswell leaders and influencers of this game. But
we're after seeing here, Matt, they're waved it wide. They looked over from pretty much our angle, but we'll move on with play anyway. And it's Conor McSweeney with the ball for South Liberties. Looks for Barry Nash. Nash flicks it away from Shawnee O'Brien. Gets himself a yard of room. It's a low enough strike, but there's only one place that's going. That's over the bar. And South Liberties have the lead. 11 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, that was a great score from Barry Nash. Just flicked it outside Shawnee O'Brien straight over the bar. But in that last minute and a half passage of play, Patrickswell could have 2 goals buried. So I hope that isn't going to be the trend later on in the game now. But they defended quite well up until that.
It's a long ball down, straight down the middle from Brian Murray, looking for either Cian Lynch or Galan. It's Lynch that wins it, and it's a free. Cian Lynch, man marker all over him. And Galan will have another chance to land his third point of this in the afternoon. Nearly 11 and a half minutes gone. Fairly even contest so far. This Limerick Senior Hurling Championship quarter final. The winners of this game played Doon, of course, as Galan lines this one up. Midway between the South Liberties 45 and their 65 metre line, straight in front. One you'd expect Aaron Galan, a man of his class, to tap over with relative ease. Galan lifts and strikes straight over the middle, and that's all square again for the second time. Matt, as Kieran mentioned, a couple of goal opportunities for Patrickswell, not taken, not full on goal chances, but they need to be taking them chances when they arise.
Yeah, you would have to say that one of them was an excellent save by Paul Butler, but it could very well come back to haunt him. This is a great catch back there by, trying to see who it is now actually. It's Mark Carmody, I'd say.
Indeed, it was Mark Carmody fielding that ball and played down here now by Patrickswell for Lark Considine. Considine can't take possession, and it's Michael O'Brien who has it. O'Brien manages to get his clearance away and down in front of us here. It's Owen Godfrey going up for the catch. Godfrey now takes possession of the ball, flicks it inside. It's too high for Shane Gary. Good pressure from the Patrickswell defence. In this case it was Nigel Foley. It's going to be a sideline for Patrickswell to be taken by Jack Kelleher with nearly 13 minutes played here. All square, 4 points apiece. Very even contest up to now. As Kelleher lines up, looking at his options. He's going to go long by the looks of things. South Liberties drop players down. Carmody tries to go short for him. That doesn't happen, and it's a fairly poor one from Mark Carmody. And linesman in front of us here, Jonathan Hayes, clocked it right across his leg. A painful one. He's not showing any pain anyway, but no doubt, as we all know, if you get a belt of a sliotar at that pace, it's going to hurt. It's going to be a sideline cut either way here for Conor McSweeney of South Liberties. McSweeney goes short. Poor touch from Ryan. And it's Patrickswell come away with it now with Calvin Carroll. Carroll under pressure. manages to get a clearance away, but it's straight to Conor McSweeney. McSweeney has options in front of him. Manages to find Owen Godfrey. Godfrey had a fair bit of possession in the last few minutes, but hasn't done much with it. Has the ball in his hand now, and he wins a free. 50-50 call. Dermot Burns isn't overly happy with it. He's not going to be happy with it because the ref has given a free against him. Kieran, probably a free on the balance of things.
A definitely right decision. His right hand was around just about to come around his face, and it was a cast iron free really. But South Liberties again, I have to say, nearly 14 minutes gone now. They're very gamey, and they seem to be kind of set up properly. I see they've definitely 4 players out there who are out there to man mark a job, and I'm impressed with them at the moment. They're going well after 15 minutes. Indeed they are, as Brian Ryan lines us up to put South Liberties in front again. He makes no mistake. 5 points to 4, 14 minutes on the clock. Definitely a much closer game than we had earlier on here in the Gaelic Grounds, where Kilmallock had a resounding win over Murroe Boher in their quarter-final. They play in the Pearse League next weekend. The winners of this game will play Doon in the county semi-final. As Brian Murray, it's a perfect puck out from Brian Murray straight to Calvin Carroll. Fantastic puck out to Lark Considine, and Calvin Carroll takes the pass back from Lark Considine. Calvin has time and space, looks to shoot, a bit off balance, and his tail well right. He never looked confident of hitting that one, Matt.
Yeah, excellent, because he was involved in the move earlier on, so it was an excellent start, or an excellent build-up, and unfortunately the execution of the shot was way off target. Patrickswell here on the attack again, and again it's Calvin Carroll.
It's Kevin O'Brien now on the ball after taking Calvin Carroll's pass. He finds Cian Lynch in tons of space. Lynch now, will he go for goal? He looks to be going for it. Lynch, it's not a great strike. It's a tricky one for Paul Butler. Does brilliantly to first control and then flick it away from the oncoming Aaron Gillan, and there's a chance Cian Lynch might have been better off to put that over, Kieran. Poor strike.
Yeah, if he met it on the beat, I think there was a certain goal. I don't know how accurate it was, but definitely another goal chance for a man of his ability to pop that top left, top right, or lower left, or lower right.
It's going to be a 65 either way for Liberties, Matt.
I asked myself the question. Cian Lynch was left in acres of space, absolutely acres of space. He's the last man that should be given an inch by South Liberties, and certainly down there on the sideline has to ask the question why he got into that position and nobody near him.
Yeah, South Liberties have been doing well to stop that kind of threat so far, as Dermot Burns lines this 65 up, and it's straight over the black spot, and we're all square again, square for a third time. 5 points apiece after 16 minutes here. The second of our 2 quarterfinals, live on Sporting Limerick's YouTube channel and on sportinglimerick.com, as Paul Butler gets us back underway with a long one, aiming for Barry Nash. Not the first time they've looked for it, and for the second time Shawnee O'Brien has flicked it away from him. And it's Jack Kelleher now with possession for Patrickswell. It's a beautiful ball from Jack Kelleher. Lark Considine can't get to it. It's a dangerous ball. Peter Harty now, if he can find Aaron Gillan, there could be a chance of a goal. Gillan has it. He'll opt for a point. Easy as we like. Aaron Gillan will score them all day long, and Patrickswell are back into the lead.
Yeah, great passage of play, to be fair. No nonsense hurling. Jack Kelleher, great ball across to Peter Harty. Peter Harty on Tarn and over the bar. Simple hurling.
It's the voice of Kieran Carey there as Paul Butler tries to line this one up. Long ball from Paul. Looking for Brian Ryan. Brian Ryan and Barry Nash, the 2 options. Ryan has done very well to win possession. Again, he was caught around the head. His helmet comes off again. It's a simple free to give away. John O'Halloran has spotted it twice now, and he's going to keep giving them frees if Patrickswell or South Liberties keep making the same offence. It's going to be Brian Ryan to take it again, Matt. Very impressive from him so far.
Yeah, very impressive, and he has been flawless from his frees so far, and you can see that Patrickswell are giving him particular attention. They're ensuring that he's not getting space, unlike what Cian Lynch got here at the other end a while ago. And
it's Brian Ryan lining this one up. He scored 2 already. This is most difficult to date, just outside the 45-metre line. As we look on the city end, straight over the middle from Brian Ryan. And this tight game is level once again, level for the 4th time, 6 points apiece after nearly 18 minutes. Patrickswell, more than warm favourites going into this game, but Liberties have shown the form up to now, any that they've shown so far in Group 2 of the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. They topped that group and will be in Group 1 next season. It's a great catch from Kevin O'Brien after Brian Murray's puck out onto Calvin Carroll. Calvin has the shot. with ease taps it over the bar, and another fine score from Patrickswell, Kieran.
The outstanding score. That's the Patrickswell that I know of. Direct hurling, give it to the player in a better spot and over the bar. But I do notice there Keane Lynch is floating in and out the full forward line there for the last 5 minutes, so there must be something in their mind as well. Thomas O'Brien is coming out in the middle and Keane is going sort of chopping and changing.
Yeah, no question that Patrickswell are seeing a weakness in that Liberty's full back line. If Keane Lynch is in there anyway, as Aaron Gillan takes possession back inside. John Flynn now with the ball. It's a low one, looking exactly as we were just saying for Keane Lynch. Keane has it. Lynch now 50 metres from goal. It's a low one looking for Peter Harty and Thomas O'Brien. It's Harty that wins it. Steps inside. There's a chance on for Peter Harty. It's a half hit shot. It's not a good one from Peter. It's a bit of a waste of possession there, Matt.
Bit of a waste of possession, but that last score for Patrickswell was an excellent score. It was direct route, direct to goal, and Calvin Carroll, he had missed one previously, and he had the confidence to take it on and execute it to perfection.
It's going to be a sideline cut from Patrickswell as South Liberties full forward Shane Gary got a touch on Paul Butler's puck out. Johnny O'Brien happy to leave it go out over the sideline. It's Mark Carmody that's gone all the way out to take that, I think. Marcus
and the longer the result stays like this, the more confidence South Liberties will be growing in. The only little worry point for me from South Liberties' point of view, a lot of ballers went in there. Patrickswell seemed to be on top 13, 14 and 15. Here we go again.
There's Kevin O'Brien on the run. He's not a man you'd want to be given that kind of space. So it's O'Brien through on goal. Shot Kevin O'Brien. That's just inches wide of the post, and that's Patrickswell's fourth goal chance of the half. Matt, they may not be punished for it, but they'll want to take them chances.
They'll want to take those chances, but Kieran flagged it there, and you're just after saying it, it's the fourth opportunity in less than 20 minutes that has been created. Certainly Patrickswell are asking questions of that full back line. They have lived dangerously, there's no question about that. That's the second one that has been ballooned right across the goal, and it could have gone anywhere. Here we have a massive shot from Barry Nash, and it's gone wide.
It's tailed to the right and wide from Barry Nash. The one question you'd have to ask though, Kieran, is Patrickswell has had the goal chances. They're getting them very, very easily at the moment.
They are, yeah, and probably the mentality is that they want to kind of play the game and enjoy it and want to put away South Liberties that bit early, but it isn't working according to plan. That
Brian Murray gets us back underway with a ball here, looking for Keane Lynch. Under pressure from David Gary, and it's Barry Nash that comes away with half hooked by Keane Lynch. High ball into the forwards, it's coming away. John Flynn pulls on that one and away it comes. Calvin Carroll tries to flick it back, but it's Brian Ryan in again with David O'Neill, and away comes Conor McSweeney with the ball. McSweeney now on the run, under pressure from Shawnee O'Brien, but Conor McSweeney still going with it. Great run from Conor McSweeney, and that's one of the scores of the game. Fantastic score. We're all square again, 7 points apiece after 21 minutes.
That's a rallying score for South Liberties, and like it's keeping him in the game. All right, they have the advantage of the breeze, but it's 7 points apiece. They're putting up a very, very creditable and a very, very gritty and spirited performance, and Patrickswell will have a bit of work to do to put him away. That was an excellent score by Conor McSweeney.
It's Patrickswell on the attack now as Brian Murray falls over after taking that puck out. It's Keane Lynch won it, but it's South Liberties come away with it again, and it's a low ball in. It should be Brian Murray's. Brian takes it easy and finds his man. It's Diarmuid Burns he's looking for. It's Diarmuid Burns ran into the perfect position. He's faced by Barry Nash, flicks it low to John Flynn, and Flynn is away, chased by David O'Neill, but it's John Flynn for Patrickswell. It's a low ball into Aaron Gillan, looking for Gillan. Gillan is pushed over. Free all day long, Kieran. You'd expect Aaron to tap that one over.
Yeah, the defender a bit unlucky now. He probably got that bit tight in a slight little trip, so it was a blatant free. But in fairness to South Liberties, Max Sweeney seems to be on top here and the other midfield, so that's where South Liberties are getting off at a joy. And any time from midfield, half hour, Patrickswell, they're causing a bit of problems, and they're getting frees out of that inevitably.
So Quilty with the foul on Aaron Gillan there, and Gillan will line this one up. Few players gets ready to take this free. Calvin Carroll was one of them for Patrickswell, but it's more worryingly from a South Liberties point of view. It's Conor McSweeney down just on the Patrickswell 65. Referee John O'Halloran is waiting until he's been treated. Mike Sexton, another noted Limerick referee, over on the sideline checking on Conor McSweeney. McSweeney's going to get up as Mike Sexton moves away. Good news for all South Liberties fans there, that Conor McSweeney, who's been mightily impressive in the opening 20. The clock ticks over to 23 minutes now. Gillan from the left hand side, about 15 metres in from the touchline. Fine strike from Aaron Gillan. Patrickswell into the nets. 8 points to 7 lead. Which was just 23 minutes 20 seconds left as Paul Butler looks to launch this one. It's a low enough one from Paul, and it looks straight down the throw to Jack Keller. Keller has it now for Patrickswell. He looks for Aaron Gillan's run, and Gillan now. Owen Quilty's nowhere near Gillan. Gillan checks back onto his left hand side, back to his right again. Gillan, and that's straight over the bar, is it? Indeed it is. Aaron Gillan with his second point in a row. Fantastic score, Kieran.
Yeah, great score actually. He cut it twice, dropped it and turned back over to the right hand side, and from an acute angle, a great score.
Patrickswell now into a 2-point lead. As Paul Butler hits this one long, it's a better strike from Paul on this occasion. But it's Patrickswell that win it. And it's Jack Keller in possession again. Cleared downfield now, and Tommy O'Brien has it. O'Brien. Long ball across, looking for Lark Considine. Lark Considine with a superb catch, and that's a fantastic score from Lark Considine that puts Patrickswell into a 3-point lead. And Matt, just in the last 30 seconds or so, 3 on the bounce from Patrickswell.
Yeah, 3 in 2 minutes, and that was an excellent point by Lark Considine. Again, it was the direct route into the full forward line, into the full forward in this case, and he turned and put it over the bar. But you would have to say that from play, apart from one very good point by Barry Nash, that the Patrickswell half-back line have dealt quite capably with Brian Ryan and Barry Nash.
It's Aaron Gillan through again here. Gillan through and goal. Gillan goes to bury, and it's to the right and wide. Another huge opportunity for Patrickswell. They currently lead by 3 points, but Kieran, that's goal chance number 5.
It is, yeah, without a doubt. But what's very noticeable for me for the last 4 puck outs from the South Liberties goalkeeper, Patrickswell have dominated in each puck out. Hence why there was a quick little flurry there for about 3 months. But that was certainly another goal and opportunity.
That's Cian Lynch on possession as Patrickswell just now starting to turn the screw a little bit. It's Lynch. Can he put them into a 4-point lead? He opts to keep going with it. Lynch then strikes, and that looks to be good as well, and that's 4-point lead for Patrickswell. And all of a sudden, Matt O'Callaghan, there's a 4-point difference between the teams. Patrickswell have just stepped up the gears a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly have stepped on the gas there, and that was an absolute excellent individual point by Cian Lynch. But a 5th goal opportunity went to begging there, and like it may yet come back to haunt Patrickswell, but if it doesn't, I suppose Gary Kirby and his backroom team will be happy that at least they're creating the chances, and they'll have something to work on for the week if they get through here, like to be more clinical.
It's Peter Harty now on the ball, but he's well challenged by David, and Harty with a beautiful pick-up, and he's on the run. Peter Harty now is Cian Lynch inside him. Outside him is Aaron Gillan. It's Gillan he gives it to. Steps back onto his right-hand side, gives the ball across. He's looking for Jack Keller. It's just a bit away from Jack, but he'll get possession of it. And he's Sean O'Brien racing up on his right-hand side. Jack has time to shoot. Well capable of scoring from here. That one looks to be tailing to the right, and Kieran, maybe worth a shot from Jack there.
It was without a doubt, yeah, but we're South Liberties are really being caught. It's the puck outs in the last 5 minutes. You know, Patrickswell are winning every one of them and every one of the second ball, and that's killing them. So maybe they might want to adapt to a kind of sharp puck out to the cornerback or halfback to maintain possession.
There's trying to launch another attack to South Liberties. Just winning possession. This one's Brian Ryan flicks it back inside, but Keller picks up the loose ball inside to Tommy O'Brien. Outside to Tommy O'Brien. O'Brien with a lovely low ball. Cornerback won it, but Lark Considine's Michael Moynihan has it, but it's Lark Considine that gets possession of it, and now we've a 5-point gap between Patrickswell and South Liberties. 5 in a row from Patrickswell. Matt, 27 minutes played, and all of a sudden things are looking pretty difficult for South Liberties.
Yeah, they're looking pretty difficult, and you'd have to say like that, given the goal chances that Patrickswell got and missed and didn't put away, that on the balance of play, there's no doubt at all about it. Patrickswell on the better side, and for the last 10 minutes or so, South Liberties are just kind of hanging in there, and I think it has been reflected. Patrickswell's superiority has been reflected in those 5 points, and it's looking ominous for South Liberties now, because they will face the breeze in the second half, and you'd expect Patrickswell to drive on. Now this is a free for Brian Ryan as we come up to half time, trailing by 12 points to 7. It's an important free that he keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
Indeed it is. Brian Ryan lines up this free after Dermot Burns was adjudged by referee John O'Halloran to have fouled Brian Nash. It's Brian Ryan again. Last free he hit was the most difficult so far this afternoon. This is a tricky one again. It's another fine strike from Brian Ryan, and he's 100% so far. 12 points to 8. Nearly coming up to the half time. Kieran, outside of them missed goal chances, Patrickswell will be pretty happy with the way things have gone.
Oh, without a doubt, they appear to kind of settle on. They're a lot more dominant, and I think Matt rightly said it. At least they're creating the chances and making the chances. The worrying thing for South Liberties, really, I think a lot of their scores come from frees. I don't know how many. It's probably definitely 6 or 7. So they need a few more forwards to be on that list to have any chance.
Another half chance for a goal here. It's Calvin Carroll hits another one. Doesn't even look. Well set up by Lark Constant. Calvin Carroll restores Patrickswell's 5-point lead, his second of the game. And Matt, after a shaky enough early start from Calvin Carroll, he's settled into the game, and that's a fine score.
Yeah, but credit to him. He had a very, very bad wide, and he's a young player, and he had the courage to take on the 2 opportunities he got since and converted them.
It's Barry Nash looking to win this ball for Patrickswell here. Keane Lynch doing the same for Patrickswell, but it's O'Neill that comes away with it. And that's David O'Neill, the vastly experienced David O'Neill. Well blocked by John Flynn, who was sticking to him like glue. Gillan now has a chance, but brilliantly dispossessed by David Gary. Gary for South Liberties scuppers that Patrickswell attack, and the ball's come away. It's Patrickswell that have it now. There's a goal chance if Kevin O'Brien looks on. It's going to be Tommy O'Brien. Goal chance number 6 for Patrickswell. He may opt to do something different. Now Tommy's going for a goal. Tommy finally for Patrickswell. Eventually rattles the back of the net. He was left in oceans of space. He was found by Kevin O'Brien. And Tommy O'Brien has been doing that for a long, long time.
It is a good ball by Kevin, actually. I thought he missed the opportunity. He was a bit like Roadrunner. He nearly ran over the ball. But to be fair, after 30 minutes gone, that goal has been coming a long time for Patrickswell.
And doubles up as a big, big blow for South Liberties. It's their 6th goal chance, and eventually one's found a target as Brian Ryan attacks for South Liberties, flicks it inside. Referee John O'Halloran been playing advantage for a foul by Shawnee O'Brien. Brian Ryan will more than likely just look to put this one over the bar mat, but is that a killer blow for South Liberties?
It definitely is. A hill that they had to climb has now become a mountain, because certainly, but on the balance of play and the amount of open space that was there, and Patrickswell players getting into open space, and the amount of goal chances that they were creating, one of them had to go in, and you just ask yourself, if they keep creating them at the same rate, are the floodgates going to open? That would be the worry from a South Liberties point of view.
Brian Ryan makes no mistake again as we're half time here at the Gaelic Grounds. Patrickswell leading this Limerick Senior Hurling Championship against South Liberties. Senior Hurling against South Liberties, 113 to 9 points. Kieran, we've got to look, as Matt just said, are the floodgates going to open now in the second half? With time will tell, but South Liberties certainly need a goal or 2 of their own to get back into this.
Yeah, well, I'd be hoping the floodgates won't open, because I don't think that's going to benefit South Liberties or Patrickswell. To be fair, South Liberties were very gamey. I suppose very naive defending, really, as Matt pointed out. Anytime there was goal opportunities, each of the players had a good acre and a half of space, and that shouldn't be the case. So they just need to tighten up a small bit more defensively. But definitely 113 to 9 points would be very flattering scoreline for Patrickswell at half time.
Matt, what have you seen in this first half that Patrickswell have done from their last performance? 2 10-point defeats in a row against Kilmallock and Imperial respectively. There's a different shape. They definitely seem to be playing to a different drum.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. That they're getting that house in order, because it's fair to say they're a bit all over the shop at the last day. But like, we have come to the stage of the competition. There's no longer a place to hide. There is no back door. There's no safety net there. You either deliver on the day or you're gone. And I think Patrickswell have adapted to that. But again, looking at the situation as vis-a-vis Division 1 against Division 2, or Group 1 against Group 2, you would have to say it's looking ominous for South Liberties at this point. And whilst, as I say again, and being repetitive about it, Group 2 was successful insofar as that it gave competitive games in the group stages of the competition. But look, I wonder how well it has prepared them, teams, for making the step up, and I'm not so sure that it has done that. And I don't know what there's a better system, because here you have in terms, and we made the comparison in Kilmallock and Murroe Boher, where we said you had third playing eighth. Now you have fourth playing seventh. If you go by the group standings, and certainly that there seems to be, as Kieran pointed out at the very start, it to me seems that there seems to be a chasm in class. Like you have the top four and the rest.
Those are the views of Matt O'Callaghan of the Weekly Observer, Vale Star, and Limerick hurling legend Kieran Carey. We'll be back for the second half shortly.